Alright everybody, this is my first week of videos, and today we are doing a low and slow Sunday. Everybody loves a good smoke, I understand that, especially when it comes to barbecue. But I want to show you guys how you can make an absolutely delicious fall apart pork butt right out of your oven if you got a little time and some good seasonings to put on that bad boy. So let's go ahead and get started.
First, you must spank the butt. No, but really, the first step here is going ahead and getting this fat cap scored. You want to make sure you get this thing cut up, allow that marinade and everything to really get down into that butt, and this is really going to give you a delicious, crisp skin on this outside. If you're anything like me, I literally just like to take bites of those little squares that you're looking at right there. It's absolutely delicious. You'll see that right now I am currently using a binder. A lot of times you're going to see people use yellow mustard. Big reason is because the vinegar aspect of that helps break down the muscle, break down the fat, everything like that. I just keep the vinegar aspect to it, but what I'm using here is a mixture of apple cider vinegar with a little bit of honey, not too much because you don't want it to burn, and then some brown sugar mixed up. The next step here is the seasonings. You're looking at a half cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of kosher salt with a teaspoon of white pepper, 1/4 cup of garlic powder, and then a tablespoon of each chili powder, paprika, cumin, and a little bit of oregano. Generally, I don't do greens if I'm going to be cooking at high temp, but since this is only going to be running at 250, a little bit of greens in there is not going to burn or anything. Now it's really just getting this thing covered. You want to get as much seasoning and rub on this thing as possible because it's just going to enhance that flavor, especially because we're not doing a smoke. This is all oven. This is just heat, fat, and seasonings. Good little rub down. Get in those crevices. Spankety spankety.
Go in the oven 3 hours, 250 uncover, and develop a nice press. I'm going to pull it out, foil this thing up, and let it slow roll out for another 4 hours for just a mouth-watering dinner later on tonight. Be back, guys. Oh, yes. And I interrupt this broadcast with this brief message. Sunday pour with Luke the Food Dude. Just got this bottle of New Riff Single Barrel Store Pick by Chris at our local Kroger. 112.3 proof bottled, 56.15% alcohol. Newport, Kentucky. This is a up-and-coming bourbon company. It's supposed to be pretty tasty, so figure while we're waiting on this low and slow pork, might as well have a pour. That's nectar of the gods right there. A little warm on the nose. Yeah, that's bourbon. So after letting this slow and go for actually 4 hours uncovered, I said 3 earlier. Don't know what I was thinking. It's not usually how I do this, but this bad boy is about to come out and get covered up.
Now I'm pulling off some of this liquid gold, if you will. It's the fat and rendering from this oven thus far. pull off some of it, one, just to not let it sit in it, but two, I always like to reserve about half a cup of it for the barbecue sauce that I'm going to make here shortly. Now I'm going to take a little bit of time to actually get a tight foil over this last 3 hours that it's going to be in the oven. You want that foil on there to really let that heat set in and start to let this break down to where it is just fall off that bone later on. Back into the oven. Now it is time for the barbecue sauce. You're going to use a little bit of that liquid gold, as I called it earlier, and also the rest of that seasoning that I used to rub down the pork butt. Basically, just don't want to let that aspect go to waste, and it's stuff that I'm already going to put into that barbecue anyway. I'm going to set this to about a medium heat to start, really let it get cooking. 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Tablespoon of lemon juice. That's our cat Nabby. She's a princess. 4th cup of ketchup. Obviously, it's barbecue. Ketchup's going to help thicken it up and give us that texture. 2 tablespoons of honey. Clean as you go so you don't have to later. And really let this simmer up, get hot, thicken up, all that good stuff to where this is just a delicious mouth-watering barbecue. That oven's hot. Watch out now.
Cover it back up with some foil. And let that sucker rest for about 20-30 minutes. It's dinner time, baby. Alright, it's done resting. Look at that beauty. And when you know, it's really hot, by the way. When it just comes out like that, if you know, you know. Shift it to a nice bowl. We're hungry and this is hot, so I'm not going to use the hand.
Getting this thing broken down with some tongs. As you can see here, this thing is absolutely piping hot. A little bit more reserve liquid of that homemade barbecue sauce. A money shot right there. Get it mixed up really, really, really well. Usually you let this rest about an hour, but we were starving. It was almost 9 p.m., so just had to troop it out on this one, but still tender, still delicious, just super hot. We went with tacos, and guys, this is Luke the Food Dude. Subscribe to me, check me out.